This is the Paradise Beach Club, or PBC for short, a restaurant and bar on Carriacou's Paradise Beach. Here, it is obvious why the beach got its name. The crystal clear water, which seems perfectly turquoise, crashes on the white sand with hills and mountains in the background. And it comes as no surprise that the Paradise Beach is world renowned, voted the best Caribbean beach in 2022. When I visited Grenada recently, I took the 90-minute ferry across to Carriacou, which is the second largest island part of the state of Grenada, and spent the day at Paradise Beach. There, I met another Guyanese, Simon Glenn, who had been living in Carriacou for a few years now and working at the PBC.
It's just quiet, lovely, easygoing, like been here since 2017, so the life here been good for me for sure. I mean, the tourists and the people is so lovely. Like every day they smile, the personality, everything is fine. So I just love it here, and then I just find home here. Cause my mom been here, so I find home here. But I still visit Guyana now and then. But
I only spent a day in Carriacou, but I believe Simon. The island, just a modest 13 square miles, was beautiful, and the people warm and helpful. However, the toll of a disaster that struck last year was evident. Less than a year ago, Paradise Beach, the BBC, and much of Carriacou looked less idyllic and much more devastated as Hurricane Beryl made landfall here. Hurricane Beryl formed on July 1, 2024. The United States National Hurricane Center reported that Beryl was the earliest Category 5 hurricane on record in the Atlantic Basin, and Simon was in Carriacou when the devastation unfolded.
But you were also here when last year when Hurricane
Yes.
Beryl struck. What was
Yes.
that like?
it was devastating. First time witness a hurricane. Because Guyana is not really a hurricane island, but first time hit by hurricane in Carriacou for sure, and it was crazy. Was with my mom, my sisters, and them, and we was devastated. We was traumatized for sure. But it lasted about 5 hours for sure, and it was crazy. A lot of people we had 8 deaths, but that was normal. And then we had a lot of houses destroyed. A lot of people lose their houses, had to get shelter. It was crazy for sure.
Did any of that happen to you?
My house was fine because we have concrete roofing, so my house was fine for sure. So we end up take people from the road to stay by us and just shelter them for a couple of weeks, and then after when the house rebuild and stuff, we send them back.
Hurricane Beryl isn't seen as an anomaly. As early as last year, when I reported on the impact of Beryl from Guyana, many experts linked the early formation and ferocity of Hurricane Beryl to the climate crisis. Brett Anderson, a climate expert with AccuWeather, told The Guardian that there's a greater risk for more extreme hurricanes with warmer waters. Warmer waters fuel hurricanes. And it was sobering thinking about the vulnerability of Carriacou and other small states across the Caribbean as I immersed myself in the cool waters at Paradise Beach. What was a relaxing day for me was another day of recovery for kayaks, the people of Carriacou. Fortunately, assistance poured into the tiny island after Hurricane Beryl. Even so, the hurricane's impact was extensive and visible even now. Simon said the PBC reopened before many other places.
We take 4 months to rebuild, but we had a lot of help from the tourists and stuff. Tourists come in and help us, and it was hard, but at the same time we had a lot of help, so it seems easy for sure. Yeah.
And how do you feel now, almost a year after? What would you say rebuilding has been like?
Rebuilding been good for sure. Like we had a lot of help from Guyana for sure. We had a lot of help from Trinidad, Barbados. A lot of people came in and helped us. The GDF, the Guyana Defense Force, came in for 6 months and helped us rebuild the police station. Help us to build the Western Union, the post office, so it was good for sure. Yes, the rebuild is kind of slow, but it's going along well for sure.
Rounding out my day at Carriacou was a 5-minute trip from the PBC to Sandy Island, a tiny uninhabited island of just 150 meters. As picturesque as it was, the fallen trees and debris on the beach also served as a stark reminder of the impact of Hurricane Beryl. As I left Sandy Island and Carriacou, I couldn't help thinking of how the climate crisis is changing the world we live in. What changes are yet in store for Paradise Beach and Carriacou as the world warms? And what changes are in store for my paradise, Guyana, as hotter temperatures swell the Atlantic Ocean just at our doorstep? Reporting for the newsroom, Vishani Ragobeer.